broke my car.
That's a big bottle of nitrous.
Don't try that at home, kids. A little bit of underglow. It is a quick release.
Oh, hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt, and we are actually kind of in a location we've been before. You may have seen it on the channel. We shot a pretty cool video here, but we've got other videos to shoot here today. I am here with my friend Harris Lue, Lue Creative. How's it going, man?
Going pretty good.
And first thing they'll notice is on your shirt, that matches that car.
It just might. It might be that car.
Yeah, yeah. So we haven't actually had this car on the channel before. Oh, actually we have. I forgot. This was at Our Dream Auto.
Yeah.
We played a little prank on you that day. Oh, yeah.
First time.
That is awesome. First time cranked right up. Ah, just kidding. We were having a little help over there, a little prank. I saw the video. I think I sent it to you separately before it went live.
Yeah, the day before I was supposed to crank it up.
Yeah.
You sent it to me and had me all fooled that it had cranked up, and then I looked closer at the video and the belt wasn't moving. And
you caught it.
And then he spun it around to the car that actually did crank.
Yeah.
He got me pretty good. I thought Manir was pulling a slick one on me.
I'm glad you said Manir, because for the record, that was Manir's idea, not mine, or maybe it was mine, but I'm not going to admit to it on my own channel. So, but that was cool, and that's the car we're mainly checking out today. You guys will see it's right beside Grandpa Vert, right? We've got CALYPSO and Grandpa Vert, right?
Yeah, double trouble out here.
Yeah, and so this car's been on the channel a couple more times. We've done a little bit more on it, but this one, obviously, I couldn't even hear it start that day, right? So Manir would not let me hear it start. He wanted you to be the first one. But yeah, we're gonna talk all about this car today. You've had this one longer than Grandpa, right?
I'm 12 years with this thing.
12, wow.
It was my first car. Me and my dad picked it up from Durham, North Carolina for $800. It was a bone stock 4-cylinder 5-speed car that the previous owner had completely ragged out. I mean, he had used it as a paint truck. That's what he did on the side, was paint houses.
He used it as a paint truck, really?
Stained decks. So he was a chain smoker, and he loved Church's Chicken. So it smelled like cigarette smoke, and the carpet was ruined by Church's Chicken sweet tea and Coca-Cola. So,
oh, man.
It was just a hunk of junk. The springs in the back were totally ruined from just cans of paint and everything being all in the spare tire well. We drove it home. I sat in it like with my legs as close together as possible and my hands in my lap because I didn't want to touch anything. It was that gross. We got it home, me and my mom and dad, and stripped the interior within an hour. Had the seats out, had a carpet cleaner for my grandparents, and we're in there just going at it. It took like 2 weeks of paper towels and Windex to get everything to stop being yellow inside as far as the windows go. From that point on, it was me and dad and mom going to junkyards and laying in the gravel, you know, old Oxford, North Carolina, doing whatever we could to this thing.
How old were you when you picked up the car?
I was 15, so I was about a month and a half away from turning 16. So I didn't know how to drive stick at the time.
Was it originally a manual too?
It was a 5-speed, so I learned how to drive stick in this car.
Oh, perfect.
I got in trouble at school for doing donuts in the parking lot with my one-wheel peel 4-cylinder.
Let's get it out a little bit, let people take a better look at it, and we'll really get into how it looks now, because it's quite different now.
It is, just a little bit.
Cool. First thing I noticed this is definitely not a 4-cylinder anymore. It doesn't sound like a 4-cylinder. So kind of tell us the story of how it went from 4-cylinder car to this is not a 4-cylinder anymore.
No, it's got 4 more cylinders in it now. 2014, I was a senior in college. I decided I wanted a little more horsepower. The original 2.3 was changing its oil every month. I was putting a quart in every other week.
So it needed a rebuild or something anyway.
It needed something. It had over 200,000 miles on it. The car currently has over 250,000 on the body. Driven it everywhere and anywhere, and the whole underside was just coated in oil. Well, I was like, hey, you know, I don't have the money for a 5.0. I did, you know, have a block that I was going to try to build eventually, but just never had the money, and found a $400 2.3 turbo on Craigslist that somebody in Virginia Beach had used in a sand rail. My broke self building a car with a college refund check, never a good idea. Don't do it. Decided to take the motor. I did a rattle can rebuild. I didn't replace any gaskets like I should have. I didn't check anything. I took the oil pan off, looked at the bottom, was like, oh, it looks good. Found an ECU and threw it in the car. We were supposed to get it done for Mustang Week that year, and it just didn't happen. A lot of the stuff was above my pay grade, and I was learning on my own. Me and my dad were learning how to do things on the fly, and neither one of us knew what we were doing.
That's okay though. That's what Fox bodies are for.
We did a lot of failing. One of those failures led to me having to do a Ron Francis wiring harness because repinning my ECU was an unsuccessful task. So it drove me to college my last semester of school. It drove for a good few months from September to November. Lined up next to a V6 SN. Took off from the light and blew his doors off. I knew we were racing. I took off and just murdered him. Showing off, going back to the light, I downshifted probably a little too soon and a little too hard, and there was nothing but white smoke in my rearview mirror.
Oh!
So not only did I embarrass myself after whooping that guy, but I broke my car and didn't know what I had done to it. 2 weeks before graduation. So I had graduation, Christmas, moving out of my college house, and had to move to Texas to start my job at LMR the first week of January.
That's a great time to be in this situation, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was wonderful to not know what you had done to your car and why you had done it, or what.
Well, we knew why. Hold on. We found out why. When that SN found out.
I was asking myself why the hell I did that, because I was supposed to drive that car to Texas in a month. Didn't have time to fix it. Didn't want to try to fix it and end up with a broken car and not be able to make it to my first job. So I got on Craigslist, and that's when I found Gramps.
Oh yeah, Gramps sitting over there. So, it worked out, then.
It worked out. We, happy accidents. We
Yeah.
made some lemonade out of lemons, but in the meantime, after I went to Texas, I had one of my buddies back home replace my head gasket because we found out that was the problem. The head gasket. Got it back on the road, which, 2.3 turbos are notorious for blowing head gaskets. So I had my first one right off the bat. I made my way back to North Carolina to work for NASCAR in 2016. Had it at my grandma's house, and I was taking it out of the driveway on my first drive, in months, but probably 2 months since I'd driven the car. So of course I was doing some spirited driving. Turbo let go on me. So it went from being a whistle to a scream. Blew my first turbo. So in the couple of months, early 2016, after I got back to North Carolina, we replaced the turbo. We got a rebuilt one off of Facebook. It did make it to Mustang Week that year. That was the only time that these two cars have been in a car show together ever. I was taking it out, started making some knocking noises. And I couldn't figure out what it was, and my oil pressure was dancing all over the place, so I parked it. I sat there for a year until we did what's now known as the CALYPSO comeback, which absolutely failed.
Yeah, you had that on your YouTube channel, right? Yeah.
Check out my YouTube channel. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I was waiting to get that in there. So the coolest thing about his YouTube channel, guys, is I think you've got over 600 subscribers. You've only put up 30 videos. You know how long it took me to get 600 subscribers? So he makes quality content, guys. Check him out. I'll leave a link in the description below.
The thing is, we went and got it. Me and Manir went and picked it up. We brought it back to Charlotte, and it sat in Rob Ruska's shop, and we did a lot of work to it. And I thought I had just blown the turbo, because when we put it on the trailer, it wasn't making any noise. It wasn't knocking anymore. So I was like, oh, whatever. I might have blown the turbo again. It's revving up fine. There's no other signs of problem. I got the call from the guy rebuilding my turbo, and he asked if my engine was okay. And I said, to my knowledge, yeah. And he's like, well, you've had metal run through the oil channels and the hot side, and that's a bad thing. At that point is when I pivoted the comeback to putting all GT suspension, brakes, calipers, rotors.
You had an idea that,
because I knew it was either going to be a really cool 4-cylinder turbo with good suspension and brakes, or it was going to end up being a 5.0 car. And as you can see, it ended up being
it ended up being a 5.0 car.
Because on the way home from the comeback, it didn't come back, and it died on me and started knocking on heaven's door.
That was about 2 years ago, right?
That was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Over those 2 years, I had Sherrod at UPR ended up calling me after he didn't see me post that it made it home safe. Because me and Sherrod go way back. He gave me my first paying gig in the Mustang industry, and he's been invested and helped me out with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know that's why you got a lot of UPR stuff on here.
So I
Yeah.
got the catch cans in here. I got the shifter handle and like a bunch of UPR products. He called me and was like, "Hey man, what happened?" And I was like, "Well, it didn't make it home." And he was like, "Well, what are your plans? Is it gonna stay 4-cylinder or what?" I was like, "I'm probably not putting the 4-cylinder back in it." He was like, "Well, we just pulled out a 60,000 mile 93 Cobra motor." He's like, "It's sitting on a pallet. Let me know when and if that's a route you're looking at." Through all of that and having it not work. And
I mean, that's just like, that's Fox Body life.
Yeah,
I'm in the heart of that right now, let me tell you.
you got to recharge sometimes. Ended up taking it straight to Adam at Kannapolis Engine to rebuild it to a 306 because I wasn't going to just rattle can rebuild it and throw it in the car this time.
Yeah, you learned that time, right?
Learned the hard way last time not to do that.
Yeah, and actually, you mentioned Adam. He's going to be rebuilding my 331. So I think he also did Ben's car, who we just had on the channel. So good people over there at Kannapolis Engine.
Never heard a bad thing about a Kannapolis built engine. And my dad's taking his 390 from his 1970 F100 there at some point next year to get it rebuilt.
Awesome.
A 306 Elgin cam. It's got a nice little chop to it to run and got it solid. And from there it went to Manier. From Manier it went to Our Dream, and that's when put it all in. Ended up putting a T5, 30,000 mile T5 behind it.
Is the cylinder heads like just their Cobra GT40 Cobra heads and
GT40 Cobra heads? It's the
Cobra intake, right?
Cobra intake.
It looks a little different though.
Yeah, it was powder coated by my buddy Kenny up in Oxford, and then the intake plaque was custom designed by me and made by Tom at Sinus Built.
Okay, you designed it, and of course Tom did the wheels too, right?
Tom did the center caps, and
Yep.
I did the custom wheel decals. But yeah, there's a few Tom things in here. I got the custom Sinus Built gauges that I designed and then he printed and made for me.
That works well. Yeah, we gotta talk to Tom. I need some touches on my convertible Tar Heel Fox, so I might need to reach out to Tom.
Need you some UNC logos on there.
There we go. And actually, yeah, I'm glad you said I wore the shirt today just for you.
If you don't know, I'm a Blue Devils fan. So,
Yeah.
I was raised for the blue on the other side of Durham. So, did all the stuff right this time. Sunk probably too much money into it. The amount of times I've been able to drive, the amount of times I've actually enjoyed this car and been able to breathe while I'm driving it and not worrying when it's going to break next. Knock on wood, on everything, anything.
I do like the catch cans a lot. I haven't seen those before.
So yeah, I've got those, and it's just a bung, an AN bung on either valve cover, and instead of doing a breather setup that might blow oil into your engine bay, cause a mess, you can do these nice catch cans, keep it clean. It's got it nice in one little spot that's away from the engine, and you can keep an eye on things as your engine breathes and goes through an oil cycle.
Yeah, and you've got the electric fans here, right?
Yes. Yeah, so
upgraded radiator and
dual contour fans. I got the radiator. Got a bunch of stuff on the car, so I've had a bunch of people behind it. I mean, without this car, I wouldn't have got my job at LMR, and I wouldn't have been able to start my career the way I did. So this car has been kind of the platform that I've jumped off of, and I owe a lot to this thing. Yeah, it owes me a lot after the money I just spent on it too.
But you are able to drive it every day now, and I mean, well, you can drive it every day, not that you do, or do you drive it every day? I don't know.
Now, I mean, this is my normal daily right here.
Okay.
The old Grand Marquis.
Mercury Grand Marquis, you gotta love it.
Well, my grandmother's.
It's reliable is what I'm getting at though, right?
Yeah, now that I'm not going to the office every day and working from home, anywhere I'm going, I'm taking one of these too. And it's been this one a lot more than not lately. But yeah, and now it sits here. I've had it back for about a month and a half now. I'm trying to find ways to drive both of them equally, but
I've seen a lot more of this one lately.
Keep finding myself jumping into this thing.
Let's take a look at this interior real quick. There you go. Yeah, we saw it a little bit before, but love the Recaro seats. Were these actually in like the Salines?
So
That's that style, or
it's that style. Mike Clay had them in his 1982 GT.
Oh, he did. Okay.
That's his dad's car. In the meantime, I did the cup holder console. I just put in my UPR shifter handle, so I moved my shifting position back a little closer to me because the Recaros sit you a little further back, and they've got that angle, so
yeah,
you're kind of angled more like a race car.
Was it the stock shifter before? Or?
It's a SVE Mongoose short throw, but the shifter handle was very short, and I was almost punching my radio when I was going when I was going into third or fifth. It kind of comes out and angles it back.
Okay.
Pretty cheap. It's a billet 03 Cobra style shift knob.
Yep, I got the same one. Yeah. Original gray interior.
Original opal gray.
Okay.
So I did do the black carpet in it. I did that carpet about 10 years ago.
The carpet and seats match pretty well. Yeah.
So, and I did something that I saw Tom Clark do that I haven't seen many others do when they redo their interiors, but this line right here where the center console goes, painted everything under there black, so it kind of blends with the carpet more and makes the floor look deeper. And this is one of the things that people freak out about.
That's a big bottle of nitrous.
If you look at the bottom of it,
speaker.
It's an 8-inch subwoofer. So they made these back in the mid 2000s. They're now discontinued, but I ended up getting got it off of a buddy of my dad's. With any kind of bass tube in one of these hatchbacks, as long as you point it at this corner, it fills it full of bass and sounds awesome.
What does it say on the label? Lue Creative Systems. Bass tube. There you go. So yeah, I do notice it's got some nice low on it. Looking at the suspension, I mean, Grandpa sits low, but all your cars always sit low. What are we looking at suspension wise?
Well, it's got a coilover setup on it right now. It's a little bouncy. It's not kind of where I want it. I want to get it Coney equipped like Gramps is.
Yeah.
At least in the rear, because you'll see when we drive it, the rear is a little bouncy. It's not quite as firm or planted as Gramps is.
Yeah, you actually you got a whole install video, right? You got an install video on that? Yeah, so I know that video. I'll throw a card to that. You guys can check that out. He did a great job on the install. I like the little hula girl test.
Yeah, the hula girl on the dash is definitely a good suspension test. I don't quite have one for this yet, but yeah. So,
we'll get you Ramsey's, you know, real Ramsey style.
Yeah, I can throw it. Yeah, so I can throw it out the window. But it does have an 8.8 rear end in it, and it'll spin both tires now. The old
no more one-wheel pill for you.
No, the old 4-cylinder was a one-tire fire. But so and then I did the 18-inch Celine SC Motorsport wheels.
They're on both cars.
Yeah, so I got I found this set on eBay. Added my custom center caps and my wheel decal with the Lue logo in there. Up front, I've got 225 40/18s. Out back, I think these are
Don't say 255, is it?
275 35.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, so.
I messed up. I put 245s in the back of mine, and everybody has 255s or better. So, well, yeah, I screwed up.
But I think I found the perfect ride height here.
It sounded pretty good when you brought it out. I know it's got an engine cam. What kind of exhaust you got on there?
The engine came with Mac equal length shorties, and they're the OG.
Oh, they're the equal length.
They're the OG.
They are. Look at that.
Lengths. So they've got the original metal plaque before Mac even put their logo on it. So it's like the old school, what you would have gotten in '93 Mac equal length shorties. It gives me no room in there if I blow a gasket.
No.
I'm gonna have to pull the engine out.
Are you gonna swap those at some point?
I don't want to.
It's so old school, right?
It's gonna be a pain in the butt if I ever have to work on it, but for now, I like it. I like that it's OG. I ended up buying the original Lasani H-pipe that's catted. Not as loud as it could be.
I didn't even notice that. It sounded good, so that's cool. You got a catted H-pipe. That's cool.
They're high flow cats, of course, but then they're mated up into the original Flowmaster 40s that I got off of Matt Serban's T-top that he had for a little while. They're Flowmaster 40s from the 90s, and then...
I was wondering when we were going to have a Serbinator reference. He always has one.
Heck yeah, I mean, Matt helped me a lot with the comeback. It's cool to have a piece of one of his cars underneath here.
Absolutely. All your buddy's parts are on this car.
So yeah, I mean, I had a bunch of hands come in to help out. I had a bunch of people that had a bunch of stuff that I bought from them and kind of cleaned out their part sheds to put into this thing. So it's been a group effort. It's been a labor of love. Huge thanks to Emily for dealing with it. She was one of the central characters in the comeback, and it hit both of us pretty hard when it didn't come back. I've always, related this car. It's like directly related to my happiness. So I'm a lot happier when it's on the road. Going through that together was if we can make it through that, we can make it through anything. So shout out to Emily, shout out to Matt Serban, shout out to Manir, shout out to Rob Ruska, who tinted the windows not too long ago.
Yeah. He tinted my windows in Tarkle Fox too, so.
Shout out to Matt here for shooting a video and showing people what it is.
Nah, my viewers, they know, don't give me a shout out, just hit the like button.
But yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, follow, do everything.
Oh, look, he's got it down.
It's been a one big group project, and I'm thankful for everything it's done and every place it's gotten me, and I can't wait to see where it takes me next.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I know the next place it's going to take you, maybe, is a quick trip down the road. So yeah, let's go for a quick ride in this thing. A little more than the 4-cylinder turbo, right?
Quite a bit. It's got subframe connectors, so it's nice and planted and solid. There's not much body roll.
What gears are you running out back?
So I've got 331 gears. Everybody's like, do 355, do 373, and this car was built to just drive. So having it to where I could just hop in it and go, not kill my gas mileage on the highway, but still be able to take off like we just did when we got in the car.
It definitely feels more peppy than Grandpa.
Oh God, yeah, by leaps and bounds.
I see why you drive this one more.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it on this camera, but I've got an extension on my steering wheel to kind of bring it back to me and be more like a race car. It is a quick release.
Oh,
so
I've never seen a quick release while we're driving the car. Holy crap.
Don't try that at home, kids.
This is just a video game. We're blue screen, green screen,
Yeah,
green screen. Yeah.
Professional driver on a closed course in Mexico. But yes, it's got a quick release and an aftermarket.
Really quick, let me tell you.
It does have the sunroof in it, so in the summertime you don't really get much protection from the sun on these black seats. With the cloth, it keeps Emily from burning her butt in her short shorts.
Yeah, so you got the convertible and the sunroof. It's a Fox body with a removable top, basically a requirement for you.
Well, my next one, I want a coupe with a T-top. So,
oh, there you go.
You know, I got the convertible GT, I got the hatchback LX with the sunroof, and then I want a coupe T-top 4i at some point. So
there you go.
I want to finish out the weird Fox body roof collection. Yeah.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't mention the 4i to Emily just yet.
Yeah, she's got some other things she wants me to buy before another car comes into the picture.
I bet. Well, this will definitely be the only time I've ever seen the steering wheel taken off the car during mid-travel.
By the way, there you go. Lue Creative steering wheel thing from Sinus Built again. Yeah, I had to give him a heart attack.
Oh,
real quick,
that's definitely going in the video. So guys, somehow I survived my ride with him taking the steering wheel off.
Hey, and
Holy cow.
Had to make him change his underwear before we did the wrap up, but
that's what they always do to me over here every time, man. Brent, you, Ben, oh my goodness.
You don't have at least one oh crap moment in a Gearhead review. You're not doing it right. Okay?
You're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. I like that. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me come hang out today, Harris.
Thank
See
you.
the Calypso. Yeah, it was a blast. Definitely check him out. He's on Instagram, Lue Creative. Also, he does have the YouTube channel, which we want to see more uploads, man.
Hey,
I want to see more of this car.
I bought a new light. I'm getting the GoPro charged.
Yeah.
We might be coming back.
He's just going for perfection, you know, but I'm all about volume, so both can win. Both can win. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, and we'll probably see you here again sometime over here. I'm imagining. Probably come back.
Definitely. We got to have another car show in the front yard again.
Yes, that was a blast. We definitely got to do that. Tar Heel sat right there.
Yep.
And yeah, maybe she'll be over here with a new engine soon. Who knows? Who knows?
Let's hope. Fingers crossed.
All right. See you next time on Gearhead 704.
After Matt left earlier, we realized we forgot an important mod that we couldn't really show you during the daytime. Check that out. A little bit of underglow. Yeah, got it on both cars. Check it out. Do all kinds of colors. You can get the star in Mario Kart, or go right back to normal.